Greetings and salutations. This is Wapotech coming directly to you through the power of the internet via the YouTube video sharing platform. And as you can see from the title and what's in the corner, I'm on to Chapter 10. This is the review for Chapter 10 of the Phantom Empire. The chapter is called The Rebellion. Okay? Can't really see the Rebellion right there too well, but that's just, they put too much glow effect in the center. Going to say at least is, as I've said before, this is a movie serial from 1935, starring Gene Autry, Frankie Darro, Betsy King Ross, not Betsy Baxter because that's her character's name. Dorothy Christy, and also a few other actors. This episode is one of those episodes that this is a movie serial that has a blend of Western, sci-fi, comedy, action, adventure, low on the adventure side. It's mostly it's Western, sci-fi, comedy with some action and some music from time to time. Okay? The whole episode, this episode is more of the sci-fi action comedy side. It changes up. Some chapters get a little more comedy, Western, sci-fi comedy, action, Western. You get yourself a variety in this. Gene Autry, if you do not know, is a major radio personality and actor. I mean major as in like he was above and beyond John Wayne. John Wayne is Western Hollywood after the generation of Gene Autry. Okay, there's the Gene Autry generation, a few other, the earlier generation of Western Hollywood TV shows, music shows and everything, movies and everything. And then there's the next generation after that, which is predominantly popularized by John Wayne. John Wayne is a relative scrub compared to Gene Autry in status level, relative to the generation in which he is in. And they're in, okay? So Gene Autry was a big deal. He is one of the few, I think he's the only actor, or the first for sure, but one of the very few actors, or very few people, I can't call him an actor because he's more than that. He's one of the very few people who have all 5 types of Hollywood stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. He's in 5 different spots. He has TV, he has radio, he has entertainer, he has movies, and he has something else I keep forgetting. So, that's kind of, sorry if I can't remember the 5th one, but yeah, he was a big star back in his day. I mean, big. He had his own little fun. There was movies, TV shows, radio, music, entertainer. Okay. There, because he had tons of music albums. He had all kinds of stuff, mostly Christian country folk albums with several Christmas albums tossed in. You can go and look it up on Amazon. He has a huge catalog of albums. Okay, I'm not joking. But anyways, his epithet is the singing cowboy. Okay, so, as I also mentioned, there's also Betsy King Ross, which is, the character is Betsy Baxter. She's the world championship trick rider from this era. Okay, so she's darn good on a horse. I just ran through the basics on some of the major characters. There's also Dorothy Christy. She was a major actress. I'm not going to go into that because, I'm just kind of moving back towards this 1920s, 30s TV shows and movies, learning stuff about about it myself and sharing it with everyone else. I might do actor videos where I talk about each actor and their history. I just look up some stuff and get some history books on the character on the actors and make videos about that at some point in the future. I know some stuff, I just don't know everything. There is a ridiculous amount of stuff at this time. The 1930s and 40s is the holy golden age of Hollywood. I mean, like the holy golden age of Hollywood. I mean, like when Hollywood was God class. They produced ridiculous amount of stuff. They innovated left and right. They refined things left and right like crazy. They did all kinds of crazy stuff. Movie serials, which are basically TV shows. You go to the movies. This is movie level production. There's movies that are made. There's TV shows and movies that are made from later eras that are inferior to a lot of the movie serials and movies from this era, because there's just skill. They really worked hard at their craft in this era, and they produced a shit ton of stuff. I mean, like there's movie serials with over 300, 400 chapters. In manga terms, that is like epic. That is up in the upper epic levels. Most manga goes for 50 to 100, or TV shows those go for maybe if they're really lucky, they make it to the 300 episode mark. There are several movie serials that are in the 400, 500, 600, 700 chapters. These are movie serials. You go to the movie theaters and watch 20 minutes of a continuous story arc going forward. This is the era in which Flash Gordon and Dick Tracy and Gene Autry, the singing cowboy, were kings. Okay, this was also the golden era of sci-fi, where everything awesome in this modern era basically started in this era. So this is why I moved back to the 1920s and 30s in the movies. Sorry for rambling off into that direction. First and foremost, I'll start with the audio and the sound. First and foremost, this is Gene Autry. The audio, the music is awesome. There's a variety of it. A lot of orchestral music, lots of that. There's also a lot of country, folk music from that era in these movie serials as well. I just have to point that out very quickly. It's less than 15 seconds, so I should be safe. So the audio quality is way up there. I mean, way up there. I mean, like, for this era, this is really good audio quality right there. By the way, if you want to, you can go and buy this movie serial in a standalone DVD, or you can get it in this 150 pack from Mill Creek, which is the direction I suggest you go with, because for very little money you get a ton of stuff. And I know it says SciFi TV. This is not TV. This is movie serials, but it's basically proto TV, but better. Way better. Better story writing too. Better everything. Even modern TV is kind of garbage compared to this. I mean, like, as I said, if I keep saying this is a sci-fi western. This is a sci-fi western comedy action with a touch of drama and music. This is probably about the weakest spot right here, is because the glow effect obscures the the glow effect actually obscures the word the. That's about it. The next part is the camera work. The camera work is exceptional. There's a lot of action scenes. There's a lot of jumping from scene from set to set to set to set. There's horse riding. There's all kinds of stuff. I'm not joking. It's very well done. There's explosions getting into the effects. There's electricity arcing all over the place. There's a lot of cool stuff that pops up in this, and everything is moving along very fast. As far as this is concerned, it's very well done. The writing is very well done. It covers the plot holes very well. If you're watching and you see something in a chapter or something that like, why didn't he do this? It explains it, but not in an idiotic fashion, like literally telling you, "Oh, I did not know that." Okay, you literally see it by seeing that there's clearly he did not know this piece of information, so it's very well worked out. All the little plot points are fairly well tied together. The acting is exceedingly well done. I mean, like, even the B tier characters, the comedy duo in this movie serial, do a really good job. And funny enough, they cover a lot of good spots or positions throughout the movie serial that complement their comedy act that they're going through. Not to mention adds depth and complexity to their characters. So there's a lot of comedy duos today in the movies, and like particularly the newer Star Wars and shit like that, or comedy bits. It's in a lot of newer stuff. I'm not joking. That really should get back to like this, because they need to like study the shit out of this, because they need to learn how to make heroic comedic characters again, and with depth to them, and not just simply create jokes for just stupidity's sake, or just offline, out of situation jokes, but need to set them up properly. I'm not joking. The story in this chapter is very well done. There's a lot of action. There's a lot of moving pieces, and this is chapter 10 of 12 chapters. This is the point where the pieces start moving really fast. Okay, you have to pay attention, because people are moving positions and sides, and everything is starting to get going really hard and it's like, oh my goodness, there's like allies become enemies, enemies become allies, neutral parties switch its directions all of a sudden, and because a certain event occurs, it's moving along. It's the chapter is called The Rebellion. It's jacking up. This is when Morania starts going a little haywire, okay? So let's just say that things are coming to a head. This is the climax point, and of course there's always action, and there's a bit of comedy, and there's occasionally some music by Gina Autry in these movie serials, and there's a variety of stuff. I mean, like, not joking. I'm not going to give any this message. This movie serial is made for enjoyment, and it holds up very well, okay? I'm not joking. Final thoughts about it. I do highly recommend watching this chapter. For a simple fact, since you had to watch this chapter, you're going to have to go watch a bunch of other chapters. All the other chapters, okay? Just to get up to this point. There's 12 chapters. It's not that expensive. You can buy it almost everywhere online. You can get it in this classic sci-fi TV collection by Mill Creek. There's a lot of stuff in here like Flash Gordon, Captain Fathom, Captain Zero, which is basically Captain Zero actually is, interestingly enough, of basically predates Doctor Who by 10 plus years. Well, roughly 10 years. It's 10 plus years because the first few seasons are lost to time because they did live action on that, and they just did it live on TV and never recorded anything. So it's basically the first and second season are lost forever. The third season, fourth season, it happens to be where the episodes are, or because that's the point in which they started recording the episodes themselves. Okay, but Captain Zero is basically Doctor Who way before Doctor Who was Doctor. Not even before Doctor Who was Doctor Who. I mean before Doctor Who was even a thing in the universe. Okay, so I'm gonna cover that in short order some point in the future. It's a really fascinating era, and it's kind of sad that a lot of modern movies are basically a combination of hyper dumbed down philosophy and dumb action all over the place. There's philosophy, but it's philosophy for idiots with psychology tossed in, and then there is a lot of dumb action in it, and then they ignore a lot of logic and a lot of logic, and they fudge things in universe. So there's goofy things about movies from this era, but that's just because that is the limitation of their knowledge. Oh, air quote for whatever strange reason. That's the limitation of their knowledge about science at that era, and hopeful optimism. Modern movies don't have that kind of a excuse, and not to mention they don't quite tie everything together and make everything hold up quite as well. Modern movies are just, as I said, tons of fun action and bright colors or movement with some dumbed down philosophy tossed in. I mean, really dumbed the fudge down philosophy. Okay, so thank you very much for watching my video, and as I said, I recommend watching this movie series at least up until this chapter. You have to watch my next chapter. I'm going to try to go back and update put all the links in for all the chapters I've been doing reviews on for this, because I have been missing a lot of those lately, and I have to go and do the after I get done with the 12th chapter on this movie serial, I'm going to move on to the next movie serial, but then I'm going to lace in do a PM run or a secondary run of this movie serial with how do I say it? With spoilers. So I'm going to stick up the with spoilers on the cards as well now. So, all right. Thank you very much for watching my channel. Please consider leaving a like or dislike, telling me whether you like or dislike this video. And also go ahead and tell me your thoughts in the comments below, okay? Have a wonderful evening, and so long, and thank you for all the fish.